Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. This video has been a long time coming and I'll tell you why. First and most importantly, because I can't place this shifter and this handbrake on a Formula Sim rig, right? It doesn't make sense and basically there is no compatibility with that. So I had to acquire a sim rig that actually has a possibility to mount these two without any problems and to make it more, let's say, to have more sense, right? So today we're going to talk about two MOZA Racing products, one more than the other, because I'm quite fascinated by this one. This is the SGP shifter from MOZA Racing, and we have the HBP Handbrake that kind of go quite nicely together. The cool thing about those two is that not all sim rigs have such wide plate to mount them, because if you take into consideration some other handbrakes and some other shifters, they tend to have quite wider base and it kind of covers the for instance it doesn't go into same correlation, but for instance Logitech shifter is way wider, right? And even though it's not the same standard, not the same quality or material or whatever, I'm just taking that for an example. So when you take these two into consideration, both of their weight is almost the same as the Logitech shifter, right? So we come into a scenario where not all sim rigs have that wide plate to mount both of these. Of course, the one that I use, the Playseat Sensation Pro, actually has an additional stand that you can buy on the left and the right, depending on your orientation. Are you left-handed or you right-handed? And in those terms, the plate still isn't fully compatible. And it's not because of the shifter, it's more because of the handbrake, because the holes don't fit. So you either have to drill one in addition through two plates just to have the possibility to mount it. But regardless of that, even one screw does hold the handbrake, so you don't have to worry that much. You don't have to do it immediately. It's something just to point out and to give you some advice. Now, when we're talking about these two, and I'm going to start with the handbrake first because I want to focus more on the SGP sequential shifter. The handbrake here is made out of airplane grade aluminum. We have 16-bit high precision position sensor, pressure and travel distance, dual mode and multi-angle adjustability. This is really cool because you can actually place it vertically or horizontally, and you can connect it with USB to a PC, or you can connect it with proprietary connector to a MOZA base that already has the connection which is predefined for a handbrake. Now, when we take the visual aspect, you can also adjust the angle, not only horizontal or vertical, but you can actually give it a bit more of an angle, like not 45 degrees or anything similar to that, but you can adjust the angle. And you can also adjust the height, but we'll get more into details regarding the MOZA Pit House as well when we're talking about handbrake later on during the video. Now let's talk about the SGP sequential shifter. Now this is really cool and I was really looking forward to this one just because I can finally go and actually use a shifter, like dedicated shifter, not on the pedals at the back of the steering wheel, which kind of brings us to the point where comparing to an H shifter, you just have to push it forward to downshift or push it towards you for an upshift. Now quickly with some features, it's all metal construction, the same thing as the handbrake, and it's made out of aerospace grade aluminum alloy and high strength steel using quite interesting CNC high gloss cutting technology. Now when we're talking about versatile multifunctional handle, you have the possibility to adjust that handle for quick shifts to neutral or reverse, and it kind of gives the ultimate flexibility, I would say. Now you have a stable non-contact hole sensor, so there's no wear and tear. And talking about that, durable performance, now they tested it through millions of cycles without any signs of structural or electronic issues. You have the possibility to adjust it really nicely with adjustable shifting resistance and handle height within 64 millimeters of range. Customizable shifter knob is possible to change as well, because with M12 threads you have a possibility to replace it with any knob that you desire. In terms of connection, the same thing as the handbrake, you have USB 2.0 to connect it directly to your PC, or if you have a MOZA Racing base that is actually dedicated or actually has a connection specifically for the shifter, you can connect it as it is. So thankfully I have the R16 that actually has both connections, so for the handbrake and for the shifter, and I managed to connect them quite without any problems directly to the base, which kinda does also do a nice job when we're talking about cable management. I know not all of you guys tend to do the cable management around the sim rig, but taking into consideration that my channel is mostly based on PC builds and I do tend to do a proper cable management regarding those, I actually wanted to extend that to my sim rigs as well. Now, you also have dynamic RGB backlight mechanical buttons, 2 of those, which offer 8 color options and practical customization. And when we go into customization, it's fully customizable because in MOZA Pit House you can do whatever you wish. So I don't just discuss these parameters, details, features and all the other information that I gave you so far. Let's switch to my sim rig and check it out from a close-up, and then of course MOZA Pit House and everything else. This is what I was talking about when I mentioned the plate and how it fits. As you can see, you have loads of space in between the shifter and the handbrake, which kind of makes it easier to switch, right? And this is really cool because I was actually worried. I do have to admit, I was researching to go with a proper seat and I wanted to still have the consistency of the design when we're talking about my F1 sim rig and this one, and wanted to check if this would be quite enough for both of these to be placed like so. So regarding that, what I can say, the plate does, as I already stated, the plate does the job, but I would suggest drilling another hole just to have the fixture of the handbrake, because it does this, right? So it doesn't fit properly in those terms. I think maybe eventually that if you move it sideways or whatever, it could be much better. Regardless of everything, this is outstanding. I can only say that this is outstanding when we're talking about the whole ecosystem from MOZA and what they did with the new R16, giving you a possibility to connect the wheel, which is already standard, but then we have the handbrake connected directly. Pedals are actually connected also directly, so you can connect pedals to the R16, you can connect the shifter, you can connect the handbrake. This is really good. When we're talking about the handbrake, you can change the dampener and you can change the spring as well to give more let's say different pressure, different not feedback, but yeah, something like that, which is quite cool. Now when we go into MOZA Pit House, what you can expect here, if we go with the base, you don't see anything. You don't see anything here specifically when we're talking about these two. The only thing, since I did go with Relay, I would only suggest just switching the wheel to Relay, and that's it. Now when we go to the actual, as you can see, you have here the H shifter, which I don't have, but it doesn't matter because I actually wanted this one more than the H shifter. Here we go. So the SGP Sequential shifter, you have the button number, which gives you an option to adjust whatever you wish. Here we go. As you can see, you have downshift, upshift. You have this button right here, which is a lever that gives you an option with a small finger to go much quicker into reverse or neutral, as already stated. And then you have these two buttons here at the bottom, which can be adjusted when we're talking about the light. And the cool thing, and which is much easier than for instance, like the FSR steering wheel, you don't have to press any button right here to adjust the light. You can adjust the light throughout the MOZA Pit House, and that's it. Button brightness, and then you have the shift direction, which can be also reversed, but then again you can do that inside the game. And finally we have pick button synchronization, and that's basically all, because you don't have to have too much customization here, and basically there is not much customization because you can adjust it. You have holes here in the SGP shifter to adjust the height, because if you want to push it a bit higher, this is possible. 64 millimeters of height adjustment, that's outstanding. Now when we go to the handbrake and check out what we can do, and this is most likely expected, you have handbrake mode, so you can adjust the axis and you can adjust the buttons. So you have key threshold, reverse, or you can calibrate it. And then when we're talking about the axis, it all depends on the output curve. So you can set the output curve to linear. You could go with some sort of a curve, then we have others, and finally you have the possibility to adjust it yourself. That's basically it. There is not much because there isn't much needed, and I would say with the shifter and the handbrake paired up, they both look outstandingly good. The quality is there because, as you already used to from my channel and regarding everything, when we talk about MOZA bases, steering wheels, pedals, and I mean the craft behind everything is top notch. I can't find a single flaw when we're talking about the design, when we're talking about manufacturing and everything else, and it kind of brings, really honestly, me personally, enjoyment playing and gaming and actually reviewing all their stuff, because you can see the precision in each detail done properly. So I have to warn you, I'm not pro when we're talking about rally, and there will be most likely accidents. I will most likely crash and similar stuff, but regardless of that, let's drive something that hopefully I can manage a clean lap or a clean stint, and yeah, let's check it out.
6 long into 1 left long, into 3 right tightens, 50, 2 left long, 50, 4 right long, into big cut, 5 left, into 5 right long, opens up into 2 left long, into 3 right, 4 left, into 6 right, extra long of a crest, 60, 6 left long, tightens 4, into 6 right, keep left of a 30, 3 right tightens, into 4 left long, into caution, 3 right long, 30, 4 left, into 5 right, into 3 left, open 6, extra long, 30, keep left, into 2 right long, into 6 left, into 3 right long, opens, into 6 left, extra long, tightens 4, keep right over 50, 3 left tightens, 30, 2 left, into 2 right, into 2 left long, opens 50, 5 right long, into 4 left long, into 3 right tightens, into slow, 5 left, into 1 right long, tightens, opens, into 6 left, extra long, tightens 1, keep right over 80, 6 left cut, 150, 4 right, opens over crest, into 4 left, extra long, opens, into 6 right long, 100, 6 right long, opens, to flat crest, into 6 right, 100, 6 left of a crest long, into 5 left of a crest, 50, 4 right long.
So regardless of my bad driving skills, when we take into consideration the rally driving, I have to admit that the feel and everything, regardless, I mean, check this out. Some of you might change the dampener and the spring here in the handbrake. It's all up to personal preferences, of course. I wanted to go with stock as per usual, and then adjust during racing and when I get more into the racing here. But regarding the shifter, it's an outstanding piece of an equipment because it really does work properly, and just by shifting and everything is right there in terms of, you have this knob, lever, however you want to call it. The lever here is actually quite handy when adding reverse or neutral or whatever you desire to place here. And the feel when this is outstanding, and I have to admit I'm really loving this. There's nothing left to add. In the description you'll find links For the SGP Sequential shifter, of course for the HBP handbrake, and I'll add the R16, even though you don't need it. If there's, I think I'll try to see if R12 has the handbrake and shifter connection, so you can connect it directly here and you don't have to connect it to your base, and that way you'll have a bit more cheaper, let's say cheaper variant of a base, but still quite solid, I do have to admit. So guys, check out the links in the description below. If you like this bad driving and you want to see more of bad driving, even though I'm definitely going to stick to Formula 1. You can always subscribe, hit the like button and click the notification bell. And guys, I'll see you quite shortly. Bye bye.